धुन कोई ऐसी बजे, सुन के जो हर दिल कहे, रेडियो फॉर द वॉइस ऑफ जयपुरिया, रेडियो फॉर द वॉइस ऑफ जयपुरिया.
Welcome to the world of Radio Spark, the voice of Jaipuria.
A very pleasant and a bright morning to you all. This is RJ Anandi
And RJ Aditya,
and we welcome you all to the studio Radio Spark,
the voice of Jaipuria.
Today we are highly honored to have in our midst our chairman Sir Shri Shishir Jaipuria ji, the scion of the Jaipuria family from Kanpur, known for its contribution towards education, media, textile and sugar industries. Currently, Sir is the chairman at ficciarise, and in the past, Sir has been the managing director of the Pioneer Limited, a leading newspaper in Uttar Pradesh.
It's a matter of great pride and honor to have you today here with us, sir.
Thank
it's not
you.
every day one gets to meet and interact with a person of your stature.
And Aditya, don't you think it's a great opportunity for us to know more about Sir's journey while establishing the several milestones which this institution has achieved under his mentorship over the years?
Of course, Anandi. Let's get to know sir a little better.
Sir, with your permission, considering the fact that you started your journey as an entrepreneur more than 3 decades ago, we would like to know the difference in the nature of problems that you encountered back then and now.
Well, I started my journey as an entrepreneur immediately after coming out of school. So I passed in 1973, and while I was doing my undergraduate program, my father asked me to start looking after the business activities and start learning the finer points. So my journey has been very eventful. There were a lot of challenges in the industry because we were managing a large textile group, and the earlier or initial issues were more relating to labor militancy, government policy interventions, ease of doing business. And India was basically a very protective country. So there was more focus on volume, on quantities, and lesser focus on quality. Now with emerging times and changes taking place, and with the opening up or liberalization of the economy, things have drastically changed. And because technology has come in a big way, so one has to be really adept in using the innovative practices, technological tools, and ensuring that they are able to deliver the best consumer experience that is required.
That sir is really insightful. In fact, Anandi and I were just talking about how the society has changed since the 90s. Sir, you being an educationalist and industrialist at the same time, which domain do you find more challenging and which one is closer to your heart?
Well, I personally feel whether it is in education or industry, every set of things has both its challenges and opportunities. It is the question of the mindset of a one individual or a leader to find out or focus on what are the opportunities available. So, as far as I see, industry had my challenges which I discussed about, but education also, because every child is different and you're trying to serve the needs of every child who has different pathways of learning, who comes from different background, and there's much more that you can do in education. So as when you asked me what is closer to my heart, I felt that education, which I've been deeply involved in the last 10 years, is much more closer, because I think as a group or as an individual, I can personally contribute a lot toward education.
Yeah, true.
That is really good to know, sir. Sir, your father, Dr. Rajaram Jaipuria ji, was the leading industrialist of his times, who is still remembered and shall always be remembered as a man with a golden heart. And now it's you who is carrying forward his legacy. So, sir, we would like to know what qualities you share with your father and in what ways have you been inspired by him?
Well, I have been greatly inspired by him because he had innumerable qualities. And just to mention a few of them, I would like to mention that he was a man of purpose. And he went through in his life lots of ups and downs. But he always believed in giving back to the society. Despite the different types of trials and tribulations he faced, he said that he will set up industry but also focus on doing socio-economic good. setting up schools, setting up temple, hospitals was the objective, and he was working for a much larger vision that he had. Secondly, he always was very passionate in whatever he was doing, and he used to work very diligently and with 100% commitment. So these are some of the things that I greatly value. Try to imbibe within myself as to how to inculcate those habits which he had, and try to emulate that. He always also believed, one thing I wanted to mention was that to get the best people, because today whatever you want to do and if you want to create excellence, you have to build a very robust and strong team so that you are mentally free from doing day-to-day activities, and the leadership team that you build. So he had that eye to get for the right person, and that's why we have a great team, and that is what I also felt that is necessary. And the last thing what I wanted to tell about my father Babuji, which I respectfully called him, is that he always used to say that don't leave anything for tomorrow. So if their paper used to come to him for any decision making, he would not say that I will not be able to take a decision today, but he always believed to take decision as quickly as possible. So these are certain things which all young people, particularly me, I also learned that young people should know that how to move quickly with agility, use the right technology, get the best people, and then only you can succeed in life.
Yeah, that is really interesting, sir. And for this next question, Anandi had been pestering me since morning. Sir, would you kindly enlighten us? What are your views on the future of initiatives that have been taken by the Indian government, like Make in India or Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Well, I think in the last couple of years, as you mentioned, a lot of new initiatives have been taken. One is, as you mentioned, Atmanirbhar Bharat, because India was dependent upon a lot of, whether it is goods or services from foreign countries. And now that India wants to make for India and also for the world, and there has been a lot of work done on making ease of business, making things much more favorable for industry to come into India. So a lot of products like defense equipment was not being made in India. We have seen how car manufacturing, every big brand has come into India. Telephone manufacturing, everybody is now manufacturing the devices in India. Similarly, medical devices, similarly solar plants and products which are related to that. So everything is now coming to India big way, and because the government has provided the ecosystem wherein people feel comfortable to come to India, invest in India, and for the world. So if this policy continues, which will continue, I think India will be a huge manufacturing base for the world. And I see a very positive sign here. The other thing which I would like to talk about is the Startup India. Now, the culture of innovations has come up so beautifully that young people, young boys and girls in the age of 20, 22, 25 are doing such new things. Earlier, there was a brain drain. People used to go from India to study abroad, settle there, and all the capital was being created in the developed countries. Now the reverse brain drain has started. People want to come from these developed countries to India, start up new companies, looking to the needs of our country and scale it up.
Yeah.
So this thing is, so much capital will be formed, looking to these new innovative and new brains that the young, we have the best demographics. Our median age is 32, and if this is channelized properly, then the potential is immense. And I think the government with its right policy, the new education policy has also come up, labor reforms are taking place, ease of business is happening, the whole ecosystem with regard to socio-economic good, whether you talk about toilets, housing, or electricity, cooking gas, and so many other initiatives for societal good has also taken place. So in every direction, lot of transformation is happening, which I think will put India in the right framework for growth in future.
Yeah, true.
That's a really progressive viewpoint, sir. So, we are really curious to know how you personally battled the challenges thrown at you by the pandemic, the lockdown period, and everything on a personal and professional level.
Well, on a personal level, pandemic I thought was something which I was able to use as an opportunity, because at times I used to be stressed going to office, working full time 24/7, going there. But it gave me time to pause, rethink, retrospect as to what I should be doing. I was able to spend quality time with my family.
Yeah.
I was able to ensure that I devote more time towards my health. So I started walking a lot, trying to look after my health and well being. The third thing that I really did was that I thought that after all, life is a journey, and you should also try to look into what are the activities that you really enjoy. So I used to play a lot of golf earlier. So I said, why not get into golf again? And I've started enjoying golf, restarted after 30 years. So there are different things which I was not doing, but pandemic gave me an opportunity to also think differently and try to do all those things. On the professional front, as far as the business is concerned, or the schools and other institutions that we are looking after, lot of innovative practice have come in. Earlier, it was a challenge that technology was always thought as something which was quite difficult and people will be taking time to getting accustomed to. But when it became a necessity, people also transformed.
Yeah.
We have seen that how the teachers have been able to make the change, how different types of platforms were being used by people which otherwise would have taken much longer time. And a lot of innovative things have happened in the last 3 years. I think it has been a great boon or an opportunity despite the challenges that we faced.
Yeah.
But these changes which has come up will go a long way because our mindset has changed. The biggest problem was that we had a mind block earlier,
Yeah.
and now that block has been removed, and now we are really looking forward that we can do anything challenging that comes up to us.
Indeed. So those were challenging times. And thankfully, the world has bounced back to a state of normalcy since then.
And sir, you won't believe, in the 2 years of lockdown in which we were confined to the four walls of our own homes, my mom got so fed up of me that she could not wait for schools to reopen, that she could get some time for herself.
Actually, that's so true. So, moving on to the next question. So, now that you are the chairman of ficciarise, if you could brief our viewers so as to what this federation is all about and the nature of your responsibility as its chairman.
Well, ficciarise is a vertical of independent schools, and we have members which are progressive schools from all across the country. Our focus, as far as ficciarise is concerned, is in terms of building a culture of quality within school system. Because as far as access and equity is concerned, as far as education or primary education is concerned, that to a reasonable extent has been met. But the biggest challenge is how to ensure good quality to each and every child. So we do a lot of advocacy with the central government, with state governments, with everybody associated, whether it is Niti Aayog, Prime Minister Office, with regard to education policies, how to ensure best practices within the school system, how to ensure good quality assessment so every school understands how they can improve their quality, to engage with the best organizations globally, whether it is Google, Adobe, and all these institutions, and to understand professional development is another area where we felt that there was a huge requirement. And then again, we thought that we should engage with the government and also with the right set of people, how we can ensure that the quality of education being imparted in the school can improve.
Yeah.
So we are doing a lot at the state level and central government level, but we also ensure that we have people who are ethical in their business and who have a purpose behind it, and they mean something, not only to do for themselves, but also for a larger society. So each of the members, we are able to learn so much from each other that it is so exciting, and the times have been such that one can really learn unimaginable things provided you have the right intentions and provided you are willing to learn.
Yes. Okay.
That's really incredible. Thank you, sir. And Aditya, I think we now have a lot of clarity on what ficciarise is all about.
Certainly, Anandi. Our best of wishes are with you, sir, for this new responsibility that you have been entrusted with.
Thank you.
And now we come to the last question of the day. Sir, what is your message to your staff and your students for whom you are an inspiration and who look up to you for guidance?
Well, there would be a couple of things. But the other day, I just finished reading a book, and this was written by Bill Gates, and it was on climate change. And I felt that climate change is a issue which each and every person should be sensitized with. And it is not only something that the government can do, but whether it is within the school system, every child, every parent, everybody should try to reduce consumption of products, reduce waste, recycle. We talk about carbon footprints. We see the challenges that are there in terms of climate change that is happening. So it is our moral responsibility and obligation towards nature that we should be sensitive to our climate and Mother Nature. So that was one message I wanted to give to everybody, whether it is the students or to the teachers or to the school leadership team and also to the whole ecosystem, that we have to work collectively on climate change. The second is that we have to continuously learn, relearn and unlearn things, because we are living in times where anything that you learn might be possible that it becomes irrelevant tomorrow. So you have to always adjust and be fast in learning things. Agility becomes the key. I mean, one cannot rest on the laurels that you have learned something and you can have a comfortable time for the next 5 or 10 years. Because everything is changing and the speed of change is very, very fast. I mean, today if we learn something, it can be obsolete tomorrow. So we are living in a world where you have to cooperate, collaborate, be at your creative best, pursue your passions. So there are a lot of things one can discuss. But I personally feel, be yourself. Don't try to copy anybody, and everybody will succeed. There are huge opportunities. I really feel that India is at the right point, and young generation like you all will be able to make a wonderful Bharat, as we say, and we look forward to our youth who can make the change.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir, for such wise words. We believe like great people like you, sir, leave their footprints on the sands of time for others to follow. We cannot hope for a better inspiration than our chairman, sir. And the insights shared by sir on a diverse range of subjects will surely influence our perspective towards life and various things that we encounter in everyday life. So, bearing that in mind, I hope our audience found this as compelling and inspiring as we did. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this is RJ Aditya
And RJ Anandi.
signing off from the studio. Radio Spark, the voice of Jaipuria.